Good evening. We are coming to you from the Egyptian Church of Christ Incorporated. This program is for one group of people and one group only, the children of God. We no longer have to wander off the straight path. For those who want to make a difference, for those that want to know the truth to so many unanswered questions, and for those who are tired of the devil taking control over everything in their lives and the lives of their children. This program is set up for those who want to bring God's kingdom to earth. According to the scriptures, Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God, and his righteousness should be added to you. Therefore, we must take back control of our lives. We, as the Egyptian Church of Christ Incorporated, are reaching out to embrace all the children of God. As it states in Psalms 82:6, I have said, ye are gods, and all of ye are the children of the Most High. Next, you will be listening to our pastor, Reverend Dr. Malachi York L., in question and answer form.
Right away when you ask a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew, they'll say they're monotheists. That means they only believe in one God. That word monos is like single, alone. Now, then what they've done is they've grafted in the polytheism, or what they call henotheism, from the Greek word again, meaning one God with many, or polytheism, many gods. But they do it in such a unique way that they'll call you a cult if you point it out. For instance, if you say, well, there's only one God who resides in heaven, then who are the we and the us throughout the Bible? Oh, that's God and, as Genesis would say, his heavenly host. The heavens are finished and the host of them.
Genesis 2:1.
You follow what I'm saying? So he said, well, there was beings with God in heaven called the army of God or the host of God. Is that true? And if there's an army or host, what are they composed of? Are they composed of the same substance of God? You know what I'm saying? Like all men, like I explained, all children of God are composed of the same substances. You can actually take a chemical weight of the human body, break it down chemically, and regardless of whether you're white, black, Chinese, whatever race you belong to, you'll have the same chemical compounds. You'll have, calcium, and you'll have sodium, and you'll have this. The bottom line of what you are is a bunch of elements. Right. So that is what you're composed of. And you reside in an atmosphere made up of the same thing of what you're composed of. These elements, water, and the body's pre-formed water, and you're breathing water. You think you're breathing air because you want to convince yourself that you're not a reptilian in any form or fashion. But in actuality, your air is nothing but water, oxygen and hydrogen. You follow this? So you actually are still underwater even though you're not under massive water. You follow what I'm saying? But again, your environment is the same thing as your composure. So these heavenly hosts who were in the heavens, as Revelation tells you, there was a war in heaven that was cast down, and Lucifer wanted to take over the heaven, and angels were in the presence of God. Now, what was their composure while in the presence of God? Is the heavenly state the exact same as the physical state, or is it a spiritual state? Because God makes a statement, he blew into man of his spirit. He didn't say, I am a spirit. He said, I blew into man of his spirit. But they say, worship God in spirit. But he doesn't never come down and say, there is a spiritual state. And what language was the original language of that Bible? And who were those deities? Because they had monotheism, polytheism, and henotheism. Monotheism meant belief in only one God. Henotheism believed that one God created many other gods or many other beings. And polytheism just meant the belief in all of these beings. The Bible is really not monotheistic because angelic beings or heavenly hosts was in the presence of God and in the body of God, meaning in the substance of God. They were what God is composed of if they was in his environment. Because nature teaches us that whichever environment you're in, you are predominantly that environment. So if the Bible tells us there were beings in the heavens with God, and that they're transparent, translucent, exoplasma, spiritual, any kind of force of energy equal, then God must also be composed of the same thing. So these were in actuality miniature gods. Maybe it was like a 100-watt bulb to a 50-watt bulb, or a 100-watt bulb to a 25-watt bulb, giving off less light, but still giving off light, still composed of the same thing.